Okay, so now let's go on to our lion page of the Ziploc Zoo Book. We read our Eric Carle 1, 2, 3 to the zoo already, so I think it is time to begin this page. I've already gotten out my black and gray markers, and I'm looking at some of the crayon colors that we can get out right now. Let's pull out the true orange, the brown, maybe a little. You can do the eyes any color you want. This is an example of green. I'll do an example of a kind of a turquoise blue, and a little gray as we go to fill in some of the rocks. Okay, so now take your baggie, the one with the red paper in it. If you can't see the lion, it's the one with the red paper and the yarn. And you're going to want to just take out your supplies and lay them out. There's your little mouse. Save your bag. Our sentence. Practice our handwriting a little bit. The yarn. What do you think the yarn's going to be used for? You got it. The mane. We're just using one color of yarn today, but if you have any yarn around your house and you want to add any highlights, feel free to do so. So we're just going to start with coloring the lion first. We're going to start with his body. So go ahead, and we're going to use a technique called blending. We'll start with a little bit of this light orange wherever his fur on his body is going to go. You can just lightly, you don't need to push too hard, because we're going to actually overlay some brown on top. So just kind of go all on the tail right here. And you know what's neat is it's okay if you go out of the lines, because why? Why do you think it's okay? I know a lot of you know the answer to this. It's okay because we're going to cut him out. We know it's a boy lion because of the mane. Only male lions have these big manes. Okay, so now get your brown and do some blending on top of your orange. It helps just make it a little more special than just making it the one color, doesn't it? I can do a little bit of the tail again, not worrying too much about that. Down on these front paws. Lions are known to be the king of the jungle. Okay, now then what I'm going to do is go ahead and start the mane to give it some background color for you to lay your yarn on top of. It's good for you to practice holding your crayon in a correct position. So during this time of practice, try remembering to hold it in the tripod position. Okay, so now we'll do a little orange here. I'm going to go a little bit around his eyes instead of through them so that I can make them a different color. Give him a little blending on the nose. Darken that little upside down triangle. And let's give him a little color in his eyes. Ooh, the blue looks good there. Some of you have blue eyes. Some of you have brown. We're all made very special. Give it a little bit of this tail fur. And if you want to, you can also, what would this be? Maybe some little claws. Okay, so now we're going to cut your lion out. There's a lot of ins and outs on this lion, and you know, at the beginning of the year, do you remember we only mostly cut circles and squares and triangles and made different things, the traffic light. Well, now you all have definitely gotten so much better at cutting. We're so proud of you. So just remember your guiding hand turning, because now you all have been cutting more complex shapes. But do you see how I'm just going around the mane? I'm not trying to go in and out of every little bit of fur. It's fine for you to just give it a basic shape. You don't even have to go all the way in here. Maybe that's a little more difficult. You can do like that way. And remember how you can get rid of anything that's hanging off to get out of your way. And we have our little trash bowl or trash basket like we use at school to keep our area tidy. Just maybe see if there's a plastic one in the kitchen that you can keep with your supplies. Okay, go around the tail, open and shut. Thumbs up cutting, remember? Thumb in the little hole. Come turn around. Come back on this hind leg. Maybe let's get rid of this. What do you think? Okay. Now you can just go right over these little notches. And this is where, if you want to get some help, I'm sure that there's somebody at your house that could help you finish this up if you need it, but most of you can do this, so don't give up. Never give up. You could even do like this, bottom of paw to the bottom of paw, and then you can just cut out a little bit of this in between part. And there you go. How handsome is that lion? Okay, so now what we're going to do that it's cut out is we're going to add the fur so that it can be drying while you're working on the rocks at the bottom of your background page. So just get out your glue, which should be ready to go since you put your top on so nice and tight. And you're going to put the glue right over your brown crayon part. Right over all the way around. Oh, you're going to kind of go over his whiskers, which is okay. All the way around. Make sure you get some everywhere. And you can put your top back on. If you have the bottled glue at home, feel free to use that too. That would work. And your fingers are going to get a little bit sticky to do this, but that's just part of using glue, isn't it? And you can just put it in the direction starting from the outline of his head. And just keep taking the tip of your yarn and bringing it, pushing it into the glue. From the chin down, from the ears up. If you want to, you can take your scissors and cut some of the yarn into a smaller piece so that it fits a little better coming off of the ear. So that's what we've done with a few of these to come off the head part. And it takes a little while, but it's supposed to give you practice with your fine motor, exercising your hands, And then it's fun to have, here I'm going to move this one. It's fun to have the finished product after your patience of taking the time to put them on. And a lion's mane just goes this way and that way. It doesn't have to be straight, all even, because when they shake their head, it goes everywhere. Let's see, this one could go up here. And then you don't have to use all of your yarn. Or, like I said, you can even get some more yarn from your house and add it in. It sticks a little bit to your fingers, so doesn't that feel funny? That's okay. Part of creating. So we get a little bit messy sometimes. Okay, so just make sure you can drag it down and see his face. All right, so we're gonna let that dry while we work on this background page. So I'm being inspired by some of where the lions live in the habitat. I know many of you all know about the habitat of Pride Rock from the famous story and movie The Lion King. So we're going to just take our gray and black marker, and there is no right or wrong way to do this. We're going to go back to the technique we used for the markings of the giraffe and just start making your rocks. You're going to get more practice of this on our elephant page too, because we're going to make a cave for the elephant. Now, leave a space, stop, maybe bump and jump over here. Some rocks are smooth, some are jagged, some are bigger, some are smaller. So you can decide where you want your black ones to go, and then you just switch and do a few gray so you can see how it gives a contrast if you mix the black and gray colors. But they need to be touching because they're laying on top of each other, aren't they? So that your lion can walk on them. They're all laying along the ground on this page. Okay, so anywhere around there you can stop. Grab maybe a brown crayon and a gray crayon from the supplies that you have out. And one fun way to add, because rocks are, so when they come, from the earth, they have all kinds of different designs already on them from being formed. And so we like to think about some of those lines and dots and from the sediment. So you can put your gray crayon in your black rocks. And then you can use a brown. And you could even, boys and girls, why don't you try this? Because a lot of the rocks that we use at Branch are what color? They're white. Just like this one. Maybe there's something in your backyard that you can collect and put in your work area to inspire you. Feel free to go back over some that you've already done if you want to add a little blending like we did with the lion body. Just experiment with what you like the look of. Because it's, after all, you're the illustrator of this Ziploc Zoo Book. Now my background paper is ready for us to glue our lion on. So I'm going to get my glue back out very carefully in case the yarn is not all the way done drying. As long as you get the outside edges of the body, that's enough to help him attach. Ooh, I bet he likes that. All right, now glue top back on, click, and we get to decide about the mouse. Where this mouse can go. We definitely don't want to go anywhere close to here. Maybe in the cradle of the tail. The lion could rock and carry the little mouse around. It could go here, it could even go up top. There you go. As soon as the page dries, you'll be getting your empty bag back out. And you'll just open it up and slide it in. While it is drying, you can take your sentence paper for your handwriting practice and get your word strip. You can use this one, or you can have someone help you write an example at home. One, two, three, four, 5 letters in the word lion. Lions. Our fun fact about lions is they have a loud roar. Let's pull down the shade. Pull down the shade. Drive the car. Lions. Pull down the shade. Drive the car. Drive the car. I was the second letter in the word giraffe. Also. Our O, starting at the top, coming back to exactly where you started. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. And then lion, na. Pull down the shade. Timber. Back up for your N. And then because we're talking about more than one in our fun facts, all lions have a loud roar. Start your S at the top. It's like a C, remember? Make a little C up here and then just keep curving down for your S. Lions have a loud roar. Awesome job.